Hello and welcome to BEL.Solutions. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating my newest project. It's actually something I've been working on for quite a while. I've finally gotten it to the point to where I refined it enough to where I felt as though I can present it on YouTube. And as always, I'll have the code available on my website, which is BEL.Solutions, and I'll also put a link in the description. So getting started, what this does is it allows you to generate videos based off of one prompt. So I'm going to show you the first iteration of what that looks like.
Ever heard of a VPN but have no clue what
So this was
Let's break it down.
a prompt that I asked to explain kind of what a VPN is, and you can see here the images look kind of cursed. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. You can see the desktops aren't that great. I was looking into ways to kind of improving it using DALL-E, but then after some research and the cost, I thought it would be best to move to something local, and then that's where I found Stable Diffusion. So you can see here, like, a lot of these images, they're not the best quality. The text overlay, that's fine, right? One of the outliers was the images, so then I was like, all right, let's use Stable Diffusion, and that's when I set up a Stable Diffusion server, which is accessible via a post request, and it is hosted using Flask. So it's just listening for those requests, and once it gets one, it will generate the image and send the JSON data back to the client. I'll go over that most likely in another video, just because that can be used for other applications outside the video generation. So I thought that'd be good to review. This is the server-side code that I'll be providing. Moreover, I wanted to go over the second iteration. So you can see here, image quality not the best. Second iteration, I had a different issue. This is with Stable Diffusion. You can see here the images, they're okay, but the context behind the image is not there. You can see that helmet, it asked to generate a helmet, didn't know that it was correlated to bikes. And you can see here with this image, it asked it to, putting the foot on the pedal. But here it's in reference to a car, which isn't what we want, because the video was asked like how to ride a bike, and that was where the context became important. So again, image improvement, but not quite there yet. And then here, this is the final version that I have. This is, again, using the ElevenLabs, Stable Diffusion, and GPT.
Gets your hands dirty, but hey, that's part of the fun. Spread the sauce as if you're painting a masterpiece. Cheeses, rain, and basil leaves are...
You can see here the quality is all right. AI always seems to have an issue with generating hands and getting the right amount of fingers on there. So most likely what I'm going to do is add a internal prompt to where it says, avoid, hands and images if it can. And then this way that should address that until AI advances and they figure out how to fix that. So that's pretty much the end result. Reviewing the code, there's a couple different things. Again, if we go through, we can see here, this is where I'm using Stable Diffusion. I'm using a base model and then also a refiner model. And that's what I found to be important. So if you are using this, I highly recommend using the refiner model. And then another important thing is when you're doing the image generation, make sure you're using like the baseline they use to train their model. I had pretty poor quality images when I tried to upscale or scale down the images inside the code. So keep that in mind. And then another thing is if I look at this code, you could see some of the imports. Whisper I used, and then base64 was so I could receive the image. And then there's also, I believe I need another one. Yeah, it was PIL, which was to be able to turn that into an image. So a lot to this, but as far as getting everything operational, it's not going to be too bad. There's going to be instructions as far as what to install and what version to install. A lot of the hurdles I had, I think, was trying to get Stable Diffusion to pass the image data to the client side so it could generate the image. And what this code looks like, here, I'll show you real quick. If you click, you have to type in Python, then the app that's going to be running, and then you enter your topic. So I'm going to say how to make a pizza. It's a good baseline test. So you can see here, it is generating the script, which is going to OpenAI. And this takes a while. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It usually, and you can see here, it kicked off a request to generate the image. And then you could see the prompt, a kitchen table with fresh ingredients for pizza, and then it gives the context, which it didn't before, which was how to make a pizza. It says, high detail, ultra sharp, and then, vibrant colors. And this takes about, I would say, 2 minutes. You can also change the number of refiner steps and base steps to get better image quality. But all in all, that's the code. It creates, YouTube shorts. I'm sure you could think of many use cases for this. And then, like I said, again, I'll create a secondary video that just goes over Stable Diffusion, because then you can use that for, any other application you would need to generate images. And again, thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Thanks.